Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Russia says that truce in the northern Syrian city of Aleppo and parts of Latakia province have been extended for 3 days. U.S. will take tougher tone on Israel's settlements in new international report. And Japan and Russia seek to bolster ties and make progress on a decades-long territorial dispute. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Russia's defense ministry said to a regime of calm truce in the northern Syrian city of Aleppo that parts of Latakia province had extended for 72 hours. The fragile local truce had been in place for Aleppo city since early on Wednesday. The extended pause in fighting for Aleppo comes as international condemnation mounted over deadly airstrikes on a camp for displaced people in northern Syria, which the government and its Russian ally have denied responsibility for. In northern Latakia province, it first took effect on April 29th after a wider truce deal in western Syria brokered by Washington and Moscow broke down. The United States will endorse a tougher tone with Israel in an upcoming international report that takes the Israel state to task over settlements demolition and property seizures on land and Palestinian claim for the future state. The U.S. approval of the harsh language marks a subtle shift. Washington has traditionally tempered statements by the so-called quartet of mediators with careful diplomatic language, but the diplomats said the U.S. in this case will align itself closer to positions of European Union, Russia and the United Nations, who emphasize Israel's role in the Middle East impasse. Israel aircraft targeted 2 Hamas sites in the northern Gaza today in response to a cross-border rocket attack, and tensions along the Palestinian territory border simmered. A military statement said earlier today a rocket was fired from the Gaza Strip at southern Israel in response to aircraft targeted to Hamas terror infrastructures in the southern Gaza Strip. Mortar and tank fire between Israel and Palestinian militants, as well as Israel airstrikes, have raised concerns of a new war in the Hamas-run territory. There were no immediate reports of casualties. No Palestinian group immediately claimed responsibility for the rocket attack. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe yesterday met Russian President Vladimir Putin in a rare visit by a G7 leader as the two sides sought to bolster ties and make progress on a decades-long territorial dispute. Putin told Abe at the start of the meeting in the Black Sea resort of Sochi that Japan is not just their neighbor, it is a very important partner for them in the Asian-Pacific region. Japan and Russia's lingering tensions have prevented them ever signing a peace treaty to formally end World War II hostilities, hindering trade and investment ties. Putin said they have certain questions that demand attention. Maybe for this reason, they must devote special attention to building relationships. Still to come in our news bulletin. Al-Hamra Club organizes traditional shooting competition in the village of Al-Ishi in the Wilaya of Al-Hamra.
هذا المنظر وهذا الإحساس الطبيعي والرائع والجميل للمتعة اللي أنا أحسها. أخذ لي صورة. بالفعل موقع كثير جميل.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. In order to promote the Sultanate as an attractive tourism and investment destination and shed light on tolerance and understanding values prevailing in the country, the Sultan's embassy in South Korea took part in the 9th Arab Culture Festival. It aimed to acquaint the Korean people with Arab culture and increase cooperation between South Korea and Arab countries. The Sultan Pavilion in the festival included various exhibits such as photos, manuscripts, and heritage corner. It also contained a corner for tourism promotion and some photos on message of Islam from Oman exhibition. The Sultan received an appreciation certificate from Women in Parliament's Global Forum for the category of equality in social gender in basic education and after basic education. The honoring came during the Sultan's participation in the works of the Forum for 2016 held in the Jordanian capital Amman under the theme Women in Politics. This recognition was the first of its kind in this field at the level of 98 countries participating in the forum. The event was held for the first time in the Middle East and North Africa. Some 260 female members of parliament participated in the forum. The Sultan delegation was chaired by Honorable Dr. Suad bint Mohammed Al-Lawatiya, Deputy Chairperson of the State Council. The production of refineries and petroleum industries in the Sultanate amounted to more than 18.9 million barrels by the end of March this year, with a decline of 6% compared to the same period last year, according to initial statistics issued by National Center for Statistics and Information. The petroleum industries included car fuels with two types, super and regular, aircraft fuel and diesel. The Sultan's production of car fuel regular reached more than 1.7 million barrels compared to the same period in 2015, which witnessed a production of 758,900 barrels. The car fuel super production amounted to more than 4.6 million barrels compared to more than 5.2 million barrels at the same period in 2015. Statistics also showed aircraft fuel production amounted to more than 1.7 million barrels compared to 213,800 barrels at the same period last year. Diesel production decreased by the end of March this year, recording more than 4.3 million barrels compared to more than 5.8 million barrels at the end of March last year. Fuel oil production amounted to 258,400 barrels. Muscat Securities Market MSM General Index added 475.3 points during April 2016, comprising a rise by 8.69% to close at 5,942.72 points compared to March 2016, which closed at 5,467.42 points. The monthly report issued by MSM pointed out that the trading value during April stood at 126 million Omani Riyals, comparing to rise by 35.3% compared to March 2016, which stood at 93 million Omani Riyals. Actual exchange rate index of Omani Riyal increased by 2.1% at the end of February of this year, according to recording 105 points compared to 102 points in the same corresponding period in 2015. This indicates to the rise of purchasing power of Omani Riyal. The initial data issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information showed that total cash in circulation had increased by the end of March this year to more than 1.667 billion riyals, with an increase by 7.7% compared to the same period in 2015. With the participation of more than 500 shooters from various governorates of the Sultanate, activities of traditional shooting competition were concluded at the village of Al-Ishi in the Wilaya of Al-Hamra in the Governorate of Dakhliya. The 2 days competition organized by the Al-Hamra Club aimed to revive social and cultural heritage of the Sultanate. The event was presided over by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council. The shooters used light guns to shoot the target. At the end of the activity, winners were honored. With the aim of preserving cultural heritage of the Sultanate, activities of horse race festival started in the village of Al-Mudhirib in the Wilaya of Al-Qabil in the Governorate of North Sharqiya. The festival, organized at the horse race track in the village, witnessed the participation of all segments of society. This festival came in continuation of the horse race festivals that are held in the Wilayat of the Governorate of North Sharqiya. The participants showed the skills in riding and taming horses. Villages in the Niyaba of Al-Jabal Al-Akhdar in the Wilaya of Nizwa in the Governorate of Dakhliya witnessed moderate to heavy rain accompanied by hails, which caused a number of wadis and its tributaries to overflow. Here is a scene of the rain. Now for the general weather forecast. Generally clear skies will prevail over the most of the governorates of the Sultanate, with chances of clouds and rainfall on Hajar Mountains. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies. Winds will be northeasterly to easterly light to moderate, occasionally active over the coastal areas, while the rest of the governorates will have a southeasterly light to moderate winds. Seas will be moderate along the coast overlooking the Arabian Sea with a maximum wave height of 2.2 meters and slight along the coast overlooking the Sea of Oman. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Russia says that truce in the northern Syrian city of Aleppo and parts of Latakia province have been extended for 3 days. U.S. will take tougher tone on Israel settlements in new international report. And Japan and Russia seek to bolster ties and make progress on a decades-long territorial dispute. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.